And when you were 10, can you kind of describe how your family life was? I mean, I know you shared a little bit about your mom and dad and stuff, but like being, were you raised in Washington State mostly?
Yeah, for the most part, I was raised in Bellingham, and then I left at the age of 12. And my brother stayed back in Bellingham, and I went to a place called the Salton Sea, the armpit of the world. At that time, I thought when I moved in August, when it was 120 degrees from Bellingham. But my parents, they were pretty much social alcoholics. It was all, their whole world was around booze. If people were over, it was booze and foo-foos and apps. If they were going out, it was booze. If people were over, it'd be like, hey, we're gonna have a barbecue. It was just like, who's bring your own booze. And like, I grew up with booze. That picture is, I was at the age of 1 when I had my first drink up in Sudden Valley. And, I was drinking it. My dad gave me a sip of Coors at 1 years old, my little spinny thing.
Those like middle class, upper middle class loggers, that whole, Boeing, all of that middle class lifestyle. A lot of people are functional alcoholics. Do you feel like that was what your dad was and you were?
I, for sure, absolutely. Functional alcoholics. So, social alcoholics is the term I like to use. But yeah, absolutely. I was very functioning alcoholic. I thought I'd be a rock star if I could, hey, I didn't drink for 3 days. I'm fine. But then I would just be right back at the sap because a Friday would go around. Like Friday day, I'd be like, hey, we're going to have my guys and we're going to go have happy hour. And oh my God, no, it'll end on Sunday.
Mhm. And I know, but like one of your darkest moments was, because I want to fast forward, we'll skip around, but we get with your family a little bit more of your history. But can you take us to the moment at Schicksal Hospital in that Duffy room? What was the thoughts that you were going through? What was kind of the darkest parts of that?
Yeah, because at Schicksal, they punish you with booze and ipecac, and it's violently vomiting. And kind of on the third day, you know, probably at my bottom, because sitting there when you're staring at a clock and you're just vomiting for 3 hours and getting everything out of your system